10 billion. That's the number of video games I want to make today, because making 50 games in a day wasn't quite hard enough, because I want to see if it's possible, and because I want to set a new world record. Let's get started right into it. So as you might have thought, manually creating 10 billion video games is not something that's possible, so we have to take shortcuts. What I can do is I can procedurally generate them, basically write an algorithm that creates the games for me. How the heck do we generate random rules? I don't know. So I tried to figure it out. 10 billion games. Unity is a program with a lot of loading screens. This is a loading bar. It's gonna take a time to load. My general idea was to randomize the behavior of all of the objects in the game. I'm gonna have circles, triangles, and squares, and I'm gonna randomize their behavior. So their gravity, how fast they can move, their mass, how heavy they are. All of that can be randomized, and I think that will already give us a lot of variety. So that's what I started with. I created a triangle, a square, and a circle in Photoshop, brought them into Unity, carefully traced like the colliders, started writing some code, and after a while I had some cool objects floating around with randomized behaviors. Definitely didn't have any problems, not at all. Only the square has gravity. What's that? Null reference. Now it will work, of course. Yes, perfect, perfect. Triangle, square, no collision. Hey! What are you doing? What are you doing? What? Oh, I'm such an idiot. It's always the same. Works? That's great! So I decided to exclusively make high-score games for one very simple reason. When we randomly generate rules, I don't know what a good victory condition would be, right? That is something a designer would design for that specific game. We don't have a designer. So I think going for a high-score system where we can just randomly assign points for certain actions sounds like a very good idea. Makes the games more replayable. We don't have to worry about victory conditions. Then we're also gonna add a timer for the same reason. When the timer runs out, the game ends. That way we don't have to worry about the lose condition either, right? It's just about getting as many points before the timer runs out. And that's gonna be the case for every game. But how you get points, that's gonna be different for every game. And there are also a lot of options how we can randomize that, which I think will make for a lot of variety. You can get points for collisions, you can get points for slapping you in the face. Ow. You can get points for colliding with walls, for clicking something, for pressing a button. The options are endless. I originally wanted to complete this challenge in one day, but I quickly realized that that wasn't possible. So I'm gonna do it in 3 days instead. If we think about it, that's still more than 3 billion games a day, so that should be fine, right? I took a little break, did some horrible cooking. I think I need to take some cooking lessons from Thin Matrix or something. Like, this looks so nasty, oh my god. Anyway, I came back the other day with fresh energy, wrote a to-do list, and got right back into it. Why is it so hard? This is driving me crazy. Why is it so hard to just make text appear in the correct position? It's hacky as hell, but maybe it works. Oh, thank God. One thing that was really important to me was creating 10 billion distinct games. And if you pick a specific one, for example, game 174, that game should always look the same. So if you tell your friend, hey, try out game 174, it should be the same. Luckily, there's a very simple solution. Like games like Minecraft do it. You just let players enter a specific seed. In my case, the seed would be the game number. There was just one problem. Maybe this is getting too complicated. Let me know if this is getting too complicated, okay? Math mode enabled. I want to have 10 billion games, but my randomness function only takes an integer as a seed input. So you can only use an integer variable as a seed. Thing is, 10 billion doesn't fit into an integer. That's a problem. I didn't know how to solve it really. But what I did is I just basically split the number into 2 parts and then use like the first couple of digits to generate one seed and then use the other couple of digits to generate another seed. So now basically the program uses 2 seeds, 2 Minecraft seeds to generate the game rules of a game. I'm slowly turning into Bob Ross. Now let's sprinkle just a few small dots on the canvas. That's beautiful. One thing I also had to learn the hard way is that you cannot just randomize the gameplay variables and expect everything to work. For example, if you make the size of the objects too big and there are too many objects in one level, they don't fit into the level anymore. So even if you pick numbers completely at random, even if you design your game completely at random, there are still certain rules you need to follow. You still need to make sure like that the volume of all shapes together isn't more than the volume you have available in the level. That was a little tricky to figure out, but we made it work. So I already randomized the color, I randomized the game length, I randomized this material, I randomized this color, I randomized the size. Only 2 million more parameters to randomize, and then I only need to add 2 million more parameters, and then it's done. It's currently the end of day 2. Did quite a lot today. Hehe, haha, ho ho. So this is basically what I got done in day 2. Yeah, it's late. So we got this beautiful game selection screen going where you can select the game you want to play. So for example, I can select game 770. Oh, damn it. And now every time somebody selects this game, they're gonna get the same game. Let's see what this game looks like. Aha. And now we can restart it as well, which is very nice. And then, you know, that this is the addicting part, the fun part here, just skipping through a bunch of games. So we could go back to the menu and say, select a game there, or we can also just press N. Okay. So many numbers now. And also there's nothing playable yet, that there's no way to interact with it yet. Looks pretty interesting. I have to say the color generator turned out pretty decent. What have I done? Seeing those first results was very funny to me because it was just a bunch of stuff I didn't expect to see at all. It's just the thing with randomly generated stuff is you get to see things that you would have never created yourself. That looks like an interesting game. I have no clue what's happening. It is unique. And it is something I definitely didn't code or design. Yeah. That's what makes it so fun. A big problem was that it was completely non-interactive, so you couldn't do anything in those games. Yeah, hard to even call it a game at that point. So that's what I focused on day 3. Getting the player interactions in there. Day 3, here we come. Okie dokie dokie doo. On day 3, I suddenly had a big low in my motivation, like, not entirely sure why. Maybe it was more work than I anticipated. Maybe I was worried if it would even come together. So I drank some water, ate a piece of pizza, went for a long, nice walk. I made a to-do list and then came back with fresh energy and just kept powering through, implementing those player mechanics. The way I went about implementing the player mechanics was I first prototyped them. So I checked out if everything works, and then I randomized the values with like the seed number the player can enter at the beginning. So now a lot of stuff is really randomized. Like the behavior of each individual object is randomized. How objects interact with each other is randomized. Like can they collide? Can they not collide? What happens when they collide? Do you get points when they collide? That is randomized. And how you control the game, that too is randomized. So we randomized so many things that I think there really are 10 billion games right now. I mean, you be the judge if it's 10 billion or not. So we're finally done. I want to go game hunting now. I click randomize and play. And now I'll try to find some cool games, okay? I think my strategy will be to just find something that feels nice to control first, and then I'll check out the rules if I like the rest of the rules too. No, don't like the controls. Don't like the controls. Okay, so I can rotate the circles, and every time I press a button, the triangle speeds up. Oh, but I lose a ton of points every time I press left or right. So the best strategy is probably just to hold one button for 1 minute straight. That doesn't seem very interesting. What do I even get points for here? Oh, that's very simple rules. You gain points for the movement speed of the square. Okay, let's give this one a go. Very fascinating how many games you can make with just 3 shapes. Wait, but the circles don't collide with the square. Only the triangles collide with the square. Oh, that's interesting, actually. Let's restart this. Let's see if there's a smart way to go about this. I wish I could move the circles up and down. That would make it quite a bit easier. Honestly, the main game seems to be just to find the best exploit. I mean, it's one of those kind of games you would never come up with yourself. Like, no game designer would come up with this game. And that kind of makes it, you know, it's not super fun, but it's at very least quite interesting. Because it's pretty much unlike anything you've ever played. Look at that, I got 79 points. Let's keep searching for a better game. I'm sure we can find a better game. Okay, there's a lot of numbers. Whoa! What's happening? Okay, so what I really like is that you can also just keep this info box open and zap through the games like that, and then instead of seeing the game, you see the rules right away. So that's also a fun way to browse through games, I think. It's 10 billion games. I didn't say it would be 10 billion good games. This is such a crime against humanity. Whoa! That was kind of unexpected, not gonna lie. I present to you the reason we need game designers. What do I have to do? Yeah, you gain points every time a circle collides with a circle. There's only one circle. You gain points every time a triangle collides with a triangle. So I need to make the triangles collide. Okay. Oh, and this is a short game finally. That's great. How do we make the... Oh, I can make all of the blue thingies go left and right. That's super interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. It's my best score is minus 1023. I think I can do better. No. I need to spread these out right away. Yep. Get those triangles together. No. Oh, no. No, that was actually worse than my last attempt. Make them spin really fast, like Beyblades. Okay. It was worse again. I feel like I'm onto something though. This has to be a good strat. I can feel it. Yeah. Oh, that was a lot of points. Yeah. Bump into each other. Woo! New record! Let's go, baby! This is actually a very interesting one. It's 624444895 and my best score is minus 1009. Let's see if you can beat that. I'm not done with this challenge. I have a ton more ideas for mechanics we can implement into this game. I would also like to try this with strategy games. I want to procedurally generate 10 billion grid-based strategy games. I've learned a lot. I'm gonna do an even better job next time. But only if you do a good job wishlisting will you snail on Steam. You've done a very great job so far. We've reached over 20k wishlists already. But we can do better, more wishlists so you don't miss the launch or something. Yeah.